Oh, we are wobbly. Can't be having that. I mean, story of my life, really. Hello my friends, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name's Alexandra. I'm a professional fashion designer, pattern cutter and creative consultant. Hit the notifications and the subscribe button and all of that good stuff. God, I hate YouTube intros. Should we just jump into it? I feel like this might be cheating because this is going to be going out towards the end of January. However, we are still in the month of January, so giving you a new year 2024 what I plan to sew, it counts, right? Anyway, so I wanted to just touch base with you because I set myself creative goals all the time. I'm a sucker for it. Sucker for a New Year's resolution, except New Year's Day came down with the flu. I have not felt any wrath like it for about 14 days I was out of action.
Oh, boo-hoo! Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
But I've had a lot of therapy about my perfectionism, so we're just gonna wipe that slate clean and start again. So I have some plans. I have some goals for the year ahead that coincide with professional projects, i.e. when I run Xandra Jane Design and I help my clients launch fashion brands, and then of course my one and only best little nugget and corner of the internet and creative community over at the DPL Atelier. We have got some really exciting framework cycles coming up this year as well, which of course are going to feed into what I plan to make. At the time of filming, we are currently just started a jacket framework cycle, and I think that's where I'm going to kick it off. So we've already done a basic coat framework cycle, and anybody who joins the membership can instantly access all previous framework cycles. So I always try and say you do not have to follow along to benefit, but we do love a little create, cut, construct signature framework. And whilst I've still got my Vertigo coat to complete, I'll come on to that in a minute, I'm thinking of doing a men's bomber jacket. So I bought Ben, my partner, a lovely bomber jacket many moons ago that he's somehow lost, and I just felt like keeping it simple. He's a man who does not wear any branded items. He's a man who has a very simple wardrobe. Fashion designer and a farmer. He owns about 3 t-shirts. Don't know how it happened, but there we go. So I'm thinking of drafting a menswear jacket for Ben. He's a 44-inch chest. He's a large human being and about 6'2", so that should be fun in terms of fitting, but also a nice kind of simple project to ease me into the year. He's very autumnal, seasonal colour palette, so that isn't something that I usually make for myself, which should be quite an enjoyable project. And nice simple techniques, but anytime I do simple sewing, I always try to make sure I execute it to a high standard. So maybe I will try something quirky with a lining, although he's a very safety zone comfort blanket kind of guy, so maybe even a crazy lining might be too far for him. But maybe I'm going to challenge myself to do it to a really professional standard. So that's going to be one of my first sewing projects of the year to coincide with our jacket framework cycle. Our next framework cycle of 2024 is going to be an occasion wear dress. Now, I don't know if you saw my last year video on creating a wedding guest dress outfit. That's a very hard sentence structure to wrap my head around, but I did a really nice one-piece bodice that was pleated in the back and a cowl neck on the front, so it's going to be an occasion wear dress. I don't yet have an occasion to go to. I know I'm waiting on my friend to get on and organise her hen do, so time's a ticking. I might be able to organise something for that. But yeah, an occasion dress. I think whether or not I make that for myself or someone else as well is something I will have to consider. I've just tasked my members with analysing what textiles and fabrics they don't sew with very often. So we have a weekly quick win task inside the atelier, and it really just helps people keep the creative momentum moving forward. And so this week's creative quick win, in conjunction with assessing our wardrobe, was to have a look at what textiles we've not yet used or worked with, and is there a reason behind that? Is there a textile we're scared of that intimidates us? And maybe incorporate that into our 2024 sewing plans. there is this, I don't know where I've picked this up from, but there is this premise that when you are pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone, do so on like a 10% capacity, because it's enough to up level your skill and learn and gain from it, but it's not too much that you're like, ah, no, run away. So I think that's something I'm going to take into consideration when I am designing an occasion wear dress as well. So firstly, I need to figure out where the hell I'm going. Or who the hell it's for. It could be for friends or family. And then secondly, again, I'm going to have a little look at how to up level it a little bit. Maybe that is a hand sewing technique to finish it, or hand sewn buttonholes we've covered in the atelier as well, or even a waist stay. It's been a long time since I've sewn a waist stay into a dress. It's been a long time since I've probably sewn a dress. So these are all things that I want to consider and challenge myself with in the year to come. So our next framework cycle from July through to September this year is going to be a jeans block. Now we've already done a women's wear trouser block inside the atelier, so I'm going to be teaching my members how to tweak that and tweak the crotch curve for a denim fabric. But I'm also really excited because I'm going to be releasing how to draft a men's trouser block as part of the framework cycle as well. So a pair of jeans is definitely on my agenda, and as a millennial, I am so happy that skinny jeans are out and baggy jeans are back in, because my inverted triangle shape does not get along with tight fitting lower half garments. So I'm really excited to create a pair of jeans and perfect the fit of the crotch curve and have it potentially high-waisted, maybe a stretch denim, and just really have fun with it. And there's a few technical sewing methods that I'm going to be teaching as well. I did attend a denim masterclass many moons ago, so I'm really happy and excited to share that with my members in an upcoming framework cycle. And then finally, garment 4, that's a guarantee for 2024, is going to be a jumpsuit. That is the last framework cycle coming your way inside the atelier. So we've already got multiple ways of draping and drafting bodices and trousers and skirts. And so it's a case of just marrying the two together, but ensuring that you add enough length in the bodice so that you sit down. A lot of people forget that with the jumpsuit, so the technicalities of drafting that pattern are going to be fun to share with my creative community as well. It's just about ensuring that it is functional once you wear it. Whether or not I do that as a casual look or a kind of party outfit, I'm not sure. That is going to be from October through to December, so it could be like Christmas party season. Month 1 we design, month 2 we draft the pattern, and month 3 we construct it at the machine, meaning the final garment is going to be ready at the end of December, perfect for a New Year celebration. I've already been saying to my friends, following, I'm so dramatic when I'm unwell, following my flu-y start to the year, I've been like 2025's my year. But we're 3 weeks in, let's not get dramatic, I can totally reclaim this. So, my members often come to me and feel like they have not fully completed a project, or they're all piling up, and they feel sometimes the pressure to strictly follow along with our framework cycles. And I say, don't. Don't bother. There is so much joy to be had from an unfinished object pile, because I have 3 unfinished projects that I am hoping to finalise. And again, I guess for myself, the pressure's on because I have to sample it so many times to create a sewing pattern. So there is that added element of creative fatigue, maybe staring at the same garment and doing it time and time again, but I'm really determined to bring these out as sewing patterns this year. And so that will be my blouse design that you have already witnessed, and so I will be bringing it out with instructions and doing a larger bust pattern as well. So I'm excited to trial with that. I also need to make sure that I sample my designs in a variety of fabrics to test the success of the design, so I can then pass that information on to you guys. So I have a blouse which is very much spring summer, I've got a vertigo coat which is very much autumn winter, and then I have got a jumper which we have just done in our most recent framework cycle, and I wear jumpers year round, I live in Wales, hello. But what I'm saying is, when you have an unfinished project pile, There is that seasonality there, so you don't feel the pressure to have to churn clothes out. We're meant to be sustainably adding pieces to our wardrobe. We're meant to be slow sewing, and above all, we're meant to be enjoying the process. So when I have fatigued from sampling my Vertigo coat endless times or doing tiny fitting amendments on the blouse, it's been so nice that I can put that down and pick up another project to stay creatively inspired. So they are 3 main sewing projects and PDF patterns. I can't believe I'm sharing this with the internet. This is called accountability, my friends, that I am hoping to bring out this year. I better get cracking. Oof. And then finally, once I've moved on from my unfinished project pile, I have some randoms and miscellaneous to add to my 2024 sewing list. Speaking of my friend who has a hen party due, time is ticking, I've also been tasked with a surprise birthday party where the dress code is sparkly. Your girl doesn't own that many sparkles in her wardrobe. You'd be lucky if I have a glitter eyeshadow. So I'm going to be creating a basic, maybe buy something like a crystal trim, and just see how I can subtly add that to a design in a way that complements my wardrobe, just so that I'm not purchasing or sewing something that I'll only reach for once or twice. I really do want to analyze my wardrobe alongside my lifestyle and make sure I am getting the most out of it and utilizing as much of my wardrobe as I can. Obviously, this is in line with the seasons, and so it's subject to change. I'm not going to beat myself over the head with it. Is that a saying? I don't know. And whilst I do have a relatively capsule wardrobe, I am starting to enjoy exploring my personal style a little bit more and moving away from sewing purely and designing purely for clients and professional purposes and taking that time out to do some personal projects. So that's one small quick win task, and I think that's also really important, is to give yourself these quick wins. So everything I've mentioned so far have been finished garments or worse, or worse PDF sewing patterns, which take so much work. And so I really need to pepper my year with some quick win sewing projects to keep me motivated, to keep me going, and to keep that perfectionism at bay so that I continue to enjoy the reason why I do this in the first place, which is just creative liberation, a little bit of me time, and feeling great in the clothes I create. Secondly, and thirdly, or finally, and rounding off, interesting chronological order there, we have just completed one of my favourite workshops in a long time inside the Atelier, actually. We used an app to conduct a wardrobe audit. Now, taking a wardrobe inventory is something I have preached since the dawn of time, but my members and I combined that with a tech app, and I was teaching them how to track what they wear, track the colours, track what brands they tend to shop at so they can assess what kind of style they're leaning towards, and ultimately have an honest and truthful conversation with yourself on what you wear, what you want to wear, but allow it to match your lifestyle in between. And a really big, powerful result of doing something like this is to spot the gaps in your wardrobe. Now, as somebody who 9 out of 10 times is in a field, in a pair of wellies, or in a stable, literally shoveling, I can't say I'm going to be in loads of skirts all the time. So it's really important that even though I have certain gaps in my wardrobe, I fill it with pieces I will be reaching for and that can sustainably add to my closet. 2 of these items are a canvas tote. So I was having a little look on TikTok about wardrobe essentials and capsule wardrobe essentials for footwear and accessories, because I am not a footwear designer and I don't really design too many accessories, minus the crease backpack, which was made from a garment, so I don't really know what the blurred lines are there. Anyway, one of the items was a canvas tote. Now, I use a really old, battered, grey backpack to carry my laptop to and forth, meetings and office work, and going to the studio and coming from the studio and blah, 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 popping to the farm, all of that. Again, assessing my lifestyle. I've had it for years. It's literally battered. I've had it since I was a student. So I've had it for over a decade. And I don't really want the student vibes. I'm becoming a grown woman. I'm over 30. It's time to up level to a canvas tote. But I really want to have a designed canvas tote. I'm not just talking about the kind of winged silhouette with 2 carry handles. I'm gonna have fun with it. And that's got me excited because it's a different sewing project to what I'm used to, and just like the quick wins, something to keep you inspired and sink your teeth into is also a great thing to incorporate into your 2024 sewing plans. And then finally, following my wardrobe inventory, other gaps I noticed in my wardrobe was the lack of basics. And by basics, I mean neutral, not much design elements going on, not many style lines, seam lines, pockets, or trend-driven design details. Something that could be a base layer, something that allows the eye to breathe, I always like to say. And if you feel like you have a wardrobe that is chock-a-block and maxed out, but you never have anything to wear, it might be because you do not have enough basics in there. And I think when we sew and when we create, we always want to go for the interesting pieces. I want to go for a dress that has a really interesting pleated bodice. I want to go for my jumper that is, you know, part netted and translucent and then big and chunky. But if I have too many statement pieces, they start to jar when you wear them together. So this little lilac tee counts as a basic, but again, it's lilac, so it restricts me on how many colors I can pair with it. Personally, anyway, I'm not a maximalist in my wardrobe. So if you are feeling the same, then maybe it's a case of creating some basics this year. So for me, that's going to be a variety of tank tops, a couple of long sleeve tops, and again, maybe I'll revert that back to my jeans and just do a really simple jean, but make sure the fit is impeccable. So I'm really hoping that this video is going to keep me accountable. I hope that my sewing plans have inspired you to take a look at your wardrobe, analyze where you're at, analyze who you want to be through fashion and through the medium of clothes. Isn't it an amazing skill that we have? And of course, if you want to come and join the DPL Atelier and follow this journey right alongside me, I'm going to cheer you on to build your dream wardrobe, designed by you, made by you, and worn by you. Ultimately, that is the most important thing. Then come and join the wait list at the moment, but we will be opening the doors 3 more times this year. So make sure you get on the list and you will be first in line to know about it. How you feel when you're sewing something. Have you ever had that moment where it's taken you a weekend? Again, maybe you're sewing a statement piece, a nice designer piece, and you try it on and you just feel a bit deflated. It's these kind of rocky hiccups in the road that can really alter our creative path and trajectory and motivation and inspiration with it. So what I am trying to do with my creative community, and I am in the trenches with you, doing the journey myself as well, is minimize that feeling. And to minimize the feeling, you first need to take stock. I think there is a misconception that creative people are spontaneous, free-spirited, curious, innovative, and naturally artistic. But honestly, I am such a Monica Geller, and I like to pair the spreadsheets and the data and the analysis and the logic with the creativity so that we minimize that chance happening when you've spent time making something for it not to suit you. And even if you are looking on Instagram, I will leave you in a minute. I feel like I've been talking for a while on this video. But even if you're looking on Instagram and following people who have the same bust, waist and hip measurement as you, their proportions could be totally different. And that's something we also cover in the atelier as well. And so if you then sew something that they've sewn and you're like, why doesn't it look as good on me? Why don't I feel as good in it? Then these are things that we deep dive into so that you can not only create a wardrobe as unique as you are, but have a creative process as unique as you are as well. So, lots to look forward to. Really glad, I think, that I have published this and made myself accountable. Guys, keep me on it, comment, let me know. Let me know what you're working on your sewing plans for 2024. Also touch base with me and be like, how are you getting on with that jacket for Ben? And I'll be like, oh, I don't know. Can't fall at the first hurdle. So let's keep each other accountable, let's cheer each other on, and let's make 2024 the year we feel great in the clothes we create. And I will catch you on the flip side.